Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the Unstruggle Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Glenn. If you are watching this on YouTube, I apologize for the lighting. I know it's a little dark and gloomy in here. Due to technical difficulties, I couldn't do my actual podcast in my office today. So here we are. We are here in my bedroom. But on today's episode, we are talking about you. We're talking about you, your age, things like that. As you can see, the title of this podcast is So You're Turning. So, you know, the old saying, grind in your 20s, build in your 30s, chill in your 40s. Well, today I'm going to alter that a little bit, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. For those of you watching on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't mind, subscribe to the channel while you're here. Give this video a thumbs up and click the bell so you never miss another upload when we upload a video. If you're listening on the audio version of the podcast, thank you so very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Do me a favor, if you're listening on the audio, go ahead and give us a rating on your favorite podcast provider, and make sure you're following the show so you never miss the great content. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. So let's go and dive in for today. So for those watching on YouTube, you can see I'm rocking my Undertaker shirt today. But I'm gonna go off the rails a little bit. I'm gonna talk about the Undertaker for a little bit. For those that follow the wrestling world, Friday night, the Undertaker was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, I want to talk about the Undertaker because he gave a speech for his induction that was absolutely amazing. It was great. And for me, you know, I'm 33 years old. I've followed the Undertaker my entire life. He's always been my favorite wrestler. But after hearing his speech at his induction and just giving his words of wisdom and inspiring the next generation, it really put in perspective why I had him for so long as an idol. You know, Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, he's a great man. He's always there to inspire others. He's there to help others. But he talked about in his induction speech, he talked about his signature moves. You know, everybody knows the last ride and the tombstone and things like that. But he talked about his mental signature moves through his career. And when he talked about this, it really put things into perspective for me. And it really, really, you know, it popped. It really stuck in my head. And one of his mental moves, which was the last one, was never be content. Never be content, which means don't settle for less. Don't settle for less than what you want. And, you know, that really got me thinking. And I'm sure you've heard there's a saying, there's a quote. It says, grind in your 20s, build in your 30s, chill in your 40s. Well, also, I'm going to alter that a little bit myself too today. So for me, my personal journey, like I said, I'm 33 years old, but I've been through more shit in my 33 years than some people go through in a lifetime. And that's not to say that other people don't go through things and other people can't inspire others. But, you know, for me personally, you know, from having to relearn how to walk at 19 years old and losing a father at 16 years old and things like that. And, you know, I have a very mild case of cerebral palsy. So that has altered my life a little bit throughout my years. But either way, I'm still blessed. I know I'm blessed. I love my life. I couldn't ask for anything better. Yeah, I've had some shitty times. We've all had shitty times, but those shitty times make way for the good times. So we're going to talk about this a little bit because a lot of people will look at their age and they're, well, I'm getting ready to turn 40. I'm getting ready to turn 50. And they automatically assume that, you know, what have I done with my life? You know, I'm not where I want to be, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Age is just a number, because what really matters is that experience along the way. And in Jordan Peterson's book, The 12 Rules for Life, let's see, rule number 4, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. So compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today, because there's no comparison, because some people do things different. Everybody does things differently. And some people excel quicker because they find out at an early age what it is they want to do. You know, I know some people that are way younger than me, they've got bachelor's degrees, master's degrees. They've got careers. One of my childhood friends, he's a helicopter pilot and an airplane pilot, and he's a paramedic, and he's done so many things. And then my younger cousin, he is a commissioner for Major League Baseball, but he also spent his entire life eating, breathing, and sleeping baseball. I haven't done that. So when it comes to grinding your 20s, building your 30s, chilling your 40s, it doesn't matter when you start. You just have to start. My thing is, find yourself in your 20s. Find yourself in your 20s. However you do that, that's up to you. Like the Undertaker said in his induction speech, go for it, fail forward, because you're going to fail no matter what. No matter what you try to achieve in your life, at some point in your life, you're going to fail at something. So fail forward. So find yourself in your 20s, explore around, take different jobs, go to college, whatever you want to do. Just find yourself, because the way that I see it, the way that I found is, you can't just find your purpose at an early age. You can't just come out of high school and be like, yeah, I'm going to change the world, and then just go and do it. It doesn't work like that. Things happen, and people happen. I met my wife when I was 15 years old, and here we are 33. We're still together. We're married. We got 3 beautiful kids, and we've been through our own group of shit together. We've both had to bury a parent. We had to bury my wife's brother. We've lost 2 children in miscarriage, and that brings a whole nother level of issues that we would have never faced, and we couldn't help somebody else with, had we not gone through that together. So I want you to look at it like that. Find yourself in your 20s, because you're taken from age 20 to age 30, and you should really start as early as 18, because as soon as you get out of high school, that's when life hits you in the nuts, and it's going to hit you in the nuts. It's going to hit you, and it's going to hit you hard. So start as early as possible. Start exploring yourself, try new things, take in new experiences. Like I said, take a job in a thing that you're interested in, because back in the older generations, the people that are 50, 60, 70 years old right now, back then, the normal was, you got out of high school, you went to a factory, and you worked there for 30 years until you retired. And that's the way it is around my area. In Louisville, Kentucky, we've got the GE Appliance Park. There's a lot of people in Louisville and the surrounding areas that went to GE as soon as they got out of high school. They worked there for 20, 30, 40 years, and then they retired. And that was normal to them. Yes, they are very successful, and they got their life, taken care of. But that's not the only way that you can go about it. In Louisville, we also got Ford Motor Company. We got the Kentucky Truck Plant, and we've got the Louisville Automotive Plant. Same thing. People go there fresh out of high school. They work at Ford for 20, 30, 40 years. They got it. They're down, but there's some people that need more than that spiritually, because what I found is, the way life is we are all put on this earth for one purpose, which is why I say, in your 20s, explore yourself, because your purpose is not going to come to you. You have to find it. You have to find that one thing that ignites your soul and sets your heart on fire, which is what I'm doing with this podcast right now. I love life coaching. I absolutely love helping other people. I love writing. So, the books that I've written and the books that I'm going to write in the future, that all blends together for my purpose, to help people not go through the same shit that I did, or if they are going through the same shit that I did, they have a way, they have somebody to go to, because I didn't have anybody. I had people that I could talk to, but I also had people that would tell me, go to Ford, go to GE, go to college, get your degree, do this, do that, do this, do that. Because, and I don't hold any kind of grudges against anybody, because like I said, back in that time, that was the normal. You either got, it's just like the game of life, for anybody that's ever played the board game. Whenever you play life, you either get a career or you go to college. And when you go to college, yeah, you get a better paying job when you get out sometimes, because I know some people with a college degree that don't do shit with it. And, you know, I know we've seen people on social media all the time talking about they have a bachelor's degree in this or they have a master's degree in this, but they're working at Starbucks. So, yeah, you took that time and you explored yourself, but you got a degree in something that what you were not passionate about. Therefore, what? What are you going to do now? So then you find yourself lost and then you feel like a failure. So then you got more mental anguish on yourself. So find yourself in your 20s, then build in your 30s. Build in your 30s. So find yourself, then build. Because between 20 and 30 years old, you should have enough experience doing different things that you know right then and there what it is that you want to do. Now, it might take somebody a little bit longer, you know, exploration is exploration. Either way, if you're exploring things and you're, you know, finding yourself, you're not failing because your ultimate goal is to find yourself. So therefore, whatever you're doing right now that has you watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, you're doing it right. Find yourself because it's going to take time. Like I said, you're not going to find your purpose. Your purpose is going to find you. And I know that sounds like a bunch of woo woo, but it's true. You know, ask anybody in the personal development field. You know, Brandon Burchard went into life coaching after he had his car accident and almost died. You know, Rob Dial, one of my greatest mentors, you know, he went into life coaching, you know, after everything happened with his dad. You know, everybody has their story that brought them to the point where they are today. And they're all very successful in their field because that helped them find their passion. They know what they're passionate about. So find yourself in your 20s, build in your 30s, or find yourself in your 20s, continue to find yourself in your 30s, but build on something while you're in your 30s. And then in your 40s, grind it out in your 40s. You know, and I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to be doing that shit in my 40s. Look at Gary Vee and Grant Cardone. And I know a lot of people don't like Grant Cardone, but you know, you can't deny he's successful. He's a multi billionaire. He knows what he's doing. But you know, age is just a number. They still grind it out every single day, 12 to 14, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, because they're passionate. They love what they do. They're helping people. And that's what it's all about. So find yourself in your 20s, build in your 30s, but continue to, you know, explore in your 30s, grind in your 40s. Then we're going to add an extra element to the old saying here. Because remember, it was grind in your 20s, build in your 30s, relax in your 40s. So when you get to your 40s and your 50s, inspire, reach out to help somebody else. Because ultimately your purpose is going to be meaningless until you put it out in the world and use it to make the world a better place, in my opinion. You know, like I said, that's my opinion. So if you don't agree, I'm sorry, but you know, this is my podcast, so this is the way it goes. But just think about it. You know, you've explored in your 20s, you've got experience, you've built in your 30s, you've grinded in your 40s, so you're successful, you're where you want to be. Now it's time to pay it forward and bring it on to somebody else. Teach somebody else the things that you've learned along the way. Help somebody else through failure, because failure is a bitch. It sucks. And whenever you don't have anybody to turn to, it sucks even worse. You know, for me, you know, I had good mentors. You know, even the people that I've never talked to personally, but with these books and podcasts and things like that, there is no excuse for somebody saying, I don't have anybody to turn to. You know, read a book, listen to the audiobook. If you hate to read, I know one of my friends, you know, hates to read. He was actually the co-author of my book, Inside Outside, retrospective memoir of addiction and recovery. He's like, I hate reading. Okay, I got an audiobook for you. Just sit and listen. So there's so many different types of media now that you can get to inspire. You know, when I started listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, before I even bought one of his books, I was addicted to his YouTube channel. Every morning when I woke up for work, I was listening to him on my way to work. I was listening to him on my way home from work. I was listening to him while I cooked dinner. I was listening to him in the morning when I was getting ready. You know, it was one of those things where he lit that fire under my ass that got me going to where I wanted to be. So find yourself in your 20s. Continue to find yourself in your 30s if you need to. There is no rush on this. Build in your 30s, grind in your 40s, inspire in your 50s. That's how it goes. That's how it should go. Because if we can do that, then collectively, as a human race, we can build enough experience and enough knowledge to where when we're inspiring at 50 years old, those people that are 20 years old, we're building generations of success, and we're building generations of, for lack of a better word, woke people who know what it takes and who know and understand that we don't just have to get out of high school, get a job, and retire anymore. We don't have to get out of high school, go to college, get a degree, get a job, retire anymore. There are different options for us to take. It is my firm belief that sometime in my lifetime, I'm 33 years old, but some point in my lifetime, college will become obsolete, because there are so many things that you can do to make as much, if not more money, if that's your goal, than people with a college degree. Now, I don't want to say that money should be your goal. I don't believe in, putting finances as a goal, but everybody has their finance. We have bills to pay. Nothing in life is free. So to have money be not a goal, but just to have it to be that force behind your goal, whatever. My thing is, find your goals, find what you want to accomplish with your life, find what you want to accomplish, build on that, and then inspire the next generation. So I hope this episode found you well. I hope you got something from it. If you did, please share it on your social media with your friends and family. You can tag me on Facebook at Abundant Life and Mind. You could tag me on Instagram at Unstruggle_Mindset. You can tag me on Twitter at Unstruggle Mind. I appreciate you guys so much, so very much for tuning into this episode. Like, again, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, share it on your social media, click the bell so you don't miss any notifications. If you're listening to an audio version of the podcast, share this podcast around, share it in your Instagram stories, and just help us get out there. We only grow by you all sharing it with your friends and family that need to hear the message. And I appreciate you all so very much for any support that the show can get. Again, I apologize for the lighting and the issues with this episode, but technical difficulties, the show must go on. I love each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me at coachwithryan@icloud.com, or hit me up on any of the social medias. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys. Have a great day.